Hi, welcome back to the Jackie and Glenn channel. I'm Jackie.
I'm her husband, Glenn.
He's my husband, Glenn.
Hey, before we get started, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit the bell notification so you miss any of our reviews. Today we're talking about Married at First Sight, Season 16, Episode number 10. We finally get a chance to put this up. It's been a busy couple of days for us, up and down days, but we still wanted to bring you guys a review. So here we go. Married at First Sight, Season 16, Episode number 10. Love is up in the air.
Mm-hmm.
So who you want to start with?
I don't care.
Let's go with Nicole and Chris.
Alright. So first things we see with Nicole and Chris, we see them going for a couples massage. They're getting to know each other a little bit more. The experts are trying to help the people build emotional connections, and they're doing this on their own though.
Yeah, they're doing
not
this
at the prompt of the experts, because some of the other couples need it, but
right.
They're doing this themselves. But that's what this episode was really all about. Everybody just kind of trying to connect emotionally
and some physically.
Yes. And so they go for the couples massage. He said the last one he had was about 8 to 10 years ago. Don't know how he felt about it.
With an ex.
He was with his ex. I think it was the toxic ex, matter of fact. So they just talk about meeting each other's needs. And, you know, she keeps stressing with him also, don't be so worried about making me happy. I want to make sure that your needs are met and you're taken care of. Don't worry about taking care of me so much. They talked about how they are doing more physical touch. And she says, which I thought was funny, she says, when it comes to love languages, physical touch was actually at the bottom of my list. But it's moved up, you know, trying to connect with you or whatever. And I thought that was odd that she would say that.
She likes the way he touched her. I mean, based off her conversation, if you see how she talked prior to the marriage, and I would have known physical touch was on her bottom of her list. I would have thought physical touch was somewhere, because she's talked about, you know, how she talked about sex and how she always made the jokes about sex with him and this, that, and the other. I thought physical touch was up there. But I can imagine why it's down. Maybe because all the past relationships that she had been in, it was the guy thought he was having sex with her, but having sex with somebody else, or
right.
The guy who burned her with a cigarette. And I hope that, I don't think that's the same guy. But I can see why physical touch is down on her list. But she likes Chris, and I mean, to me, it also seems as if when they said marriage, she figured, well, I might as well do what married people do.
Mm-hmm. She says, you know, her feelings for him are growing by the day. And, you know, they're just really getting close with each other. Then they go to, we see them go out on a date. It's like, I put it as the alcohol tasting place, but I don't know if that's what it was. It was some little thing where she had to fix a concoction and turn the little spigot on.
Yeah, she went to a little bar that she wanted to go in her neighborhood. She wanted to take him to, and she said she never wanted to go by herself. She always wanted to go with somebody special. And it seemed like it was a, I won't call it concoction. It was
because she had to put, she already had this in the glass, and she had to have the little strainer with the sugar cube on top and pour this in it. I was like, okay.
Yeah. But
she didn't really care for hers that much. She preferred his drink better. But again, they talked about, you know, how they're growing every day. He's proud to call her his wife, and she brings up the love conversation, and not even like, do you love me yet? But again, taking our time and, you know, saying it when you feel it. And in her vignette, she was like, I kind of want him to say it first. And the funny thing is, in his vignette, he says, I think she wants me to say it first. And they did not consult about that, but they both said the same thing. And, you know, it was like, I think we'll both say it when we're ready. I
mean, they do that a lot. They always have the same ideas about things, and they don't consult each other. You go back to their wedding and different things that they share in common.
But Chris's thing is, you know, I want to be intentional when I say I love you, and because once you say it, you can't take it back. So he's like, I jumped the gun on that before in a previous relationship, and I was like, I really actually wasn't there. I said it because the person wanted me to say it, and then I can't take it back. So he wants to, you know, slow up on that. Were you about to say?
No, I was about to say, yeah. I mean, he was really hurt by the fact that he said it before, and you can't take it back. And you can't take it back. I mean, you meant it, but you can't take it back. So.
So then they do have some deeper topics that they have to discuss that the experts gave them. Like I said, the massage thing and the tasting thing, that was their own thing, but they do have questions. And so it's like, okay, what brings you joy? And she says quality time and traveling, decompressing. He says friends, food. Wait, did I just write that for somebody different?
Yeah, that's Clinton.
Yeah, that's what did I just do right there?
That's Clinton, Gina.
So I must not have had nothing else for
Nah, they didn't. You didn't get to see that.
Yeah, nah, you're right. No, I didn't.
You didn't get to see their questions, Chris.
But the other thing we see with him, y'all excuse me. My notes, I wrote on the wrong thing. But anyway, we see him cutting his own hair.
Yes. And because he wanted to make sure it was a little bald spot or something there, but he gels it up and makes sure it looks nice. And she pays attention to his haircut, and she was like, you know what, I like your haircut. And he was like, you know, I do it for you. And that's when they go into the deep conversation about that it's not necessarily always, you don't always have to do things for me. I'm gonna like you. Then they go into the deep conversation about him. He said before you see it on TV, basically he didn't say TV, but before you see it, I want you to let you know that I said I
like my wife. She's a little thicker than I'm used to.
Little thicker than I'm used to. Which
then he normally goes for, but not in a bad way. And she automatically, I was like, sis, it's okay. He was like, because I know you call yourself, you know, a thicker girl. And she was basically what she said to him is, I can say it, you can't.
It's okay to be thick.
She said, basically, I can say it, but you can't. She was like, I'm a little offended. You calling me thicker. He was like, but you said it. And she did. And she was like, in the future, if somebody asks you about your wife, tell me about your wife, say, oh, she got a nice personality, she got this. Can we avoid thicker?
She said she had some kind of phobia. What was it?
Well, they both said they had like insecurity issues when it comes to body. She said she has huge body dysmorphia issues. And so she would rather him, like, it's one thing if I say it, but you can't say it. Basically, is what she said again. Me, myself, if I call myself a thick chick and my husband call me a thick chick, I'm fine with it. Like I said, just don't call me fat or a big girl. Both of those got negative connotations. Oh yeah, my wife is fat. F-A-T, not P-H-A-T. Or yeah, I got my wife's a big girl. Now, but if we use it, you know, the same word, I ain't got no problem. I thought it was funny that she had a problem, with him saying thicker. She's thick.
I have no problem with thick. Thick is okay.
Thick.
Thick is okay. But for her, thick is not right. So I'm going to take her. But I thought if a guy called a woman that she's thick, that's like a term, like, oh, you got some junk in the trunk.
I think it may have to do
with the culture?
Yes.
Okay.
That's what I was going to say, because, like, for African Americans, like, when you be like, oh, she thick.
Yeah.
We probably won't be offended.
Probably. I don't think.
We probably won't be offended.
I have not come
unless
across.
They really have an issue with it themselves. Like, most African American women not going to have a problem with it. She thick, bruh. Because that's how they going to say it.
She thicker than a Snicker.
She thicker than a Snicker, bruh. I'm trying to get at that.
Yeah, I don't see. Anyway, she had an issue.
And so her thing was, you know, my family background, you know, I'm thick, and, you know, kids will probably increase that thickness. So basically, again, just don't be calling me thick and making me feel bad about myself.
But I mean, he's embracing it. He's loving it. He's hanging on to it. Y'all having sex on a regular.
So you don't have no problem with it.
He don't have a problem. He
said, but I like it.
Right, but I like it.
She's thicker, not in a bad way.
But as a man, I understood. Even though you may like it, the person that you're dealing with may not like it, and so you're gonna have to deal with some of their insecurities.
But again, it'd be different if he called her fat.
But then again, that to her, the thickness is a bad connotation. So he has to deal with the fact that she doesn't like to be called thick. I think she should have applauded him for him telling her and her not finding out on TV. I'm like, she never really said, you know what, appreciate you for letting me know that. Mm-hmm. Thanks for giving me the heads up. That's what I would have been like. I mean, he said it because he wanted the kudos. Like, hey. And he said it because he's a nice, genuine guy. He didn't want to hurt her feelings. But he didn't want her to watch the show later on or somebody say, you know, by the way, your husband said he's sick
when we first met.
Yeah,
I appreciate that.
So he was trying to give her a heads up.
Yeah, so really that's it with Nicole and Chris. I'm gonna keep that because I put somebody else's stuff on here.
Well, let's go to those people.
Okay, so let's talk about Gina and Clint.
Yeah.
And so Gina and Clint, we see Clint first have a video chat with his mom because his concern is that Gina's all about her business. She's just business all the time.
All day long.
And so he talks to his mom. You know, they go through the formalities. How you doing? How's everything going? And he was like, you know, it's been fun for the most part. It's been smooth. We've had our own, you know, little snafus or whatever. But, you know, we're getting past that. And, you know, I think we got the social aspect down. But it's like, okay, where are we going from here? You know, we're relating to each other better. But, you know, where can we go from here? And so he says she's been so focused on her workplace. And his mom's like, you know, the other things that relationship stuff to get into besides the social romance or whatever, that'll come with time. It's going to take some time. And then he asks his mom, you know, is it hard? Because she's started her own business, a business owner. You know, is it hard to make time for yourself or significant others when you start your business? And her mom, in business. His mom says no, but she said for the first few years, I was business focused because I was trying to get that off the ground.
Yeah,
you know,
try to make it your way, make it do what it do.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You want to be that way, and so, I mean, Gina has the same issue as somebody else we talk about a little bit later. They have a balance issue. They got to balance work and life. And spending that, knowing that your spouse is spending that quality time with them is very important, and that's what Clint wanted. At least he got her to move in. So right, that was one step, and now he's trying to find out how can he cultivate and build a relationship. I take my hats off to Clint. People didn't like him at first, but Clint is really trying in this process.
Yeah, I'm gonna admit, I think I was talking to my sister about that. From the start, like looking at Clint, I felt like Clint was gonna be a problem, but he's actually turning out not to be so bad. He's one of the mature older men between the 39-year-old and the 40 that's on the show.
Yeah, he's
so far.
But he said he also, one of the episodes, or even might have been a matchmaking special, he said he did a lot. He's been through a lot. He's done a lot with the women and all this other. He was ready to settle down. We find out here that Clint almost was a daddy. Mm-hmm. You know? So Clint was almost married and Clint was almost a daddy. So he's experienced a lot. So now we find Clint trying to be the mature adult.
Mm-hmm. So he takes a day and he stops by her job and, you know, she introduces him to the team and everything. And she was like, I'm going to introduce him and I'm going to see what they think about him. And, you know, she said they're trying to develop more emotional intimacy. And so this is a way kind of bringing him into her world. And one of her coworkers is like, oh, she thought he was going to be messy. She asked him, are you messy? He was like, no. And Gina concurred, no, he's not messy. Messy like, you know, like messy in the house, messy. And he was like, no. And she said, well, you're a jokester and everything. I figured, you know, a lot of jokesters, like, they're messy or whatever. I really didn't get the correlation.
That's not what she was saying. She tried to say he looked like a bum and he looked messy. I didn't think she really meant jokester. Because it took her a long time to come up with jokester. Like, she was looking for the right word. Like, she wanted to say...
Because I think he actually said, he's like, what am I not put together? What?
Right. She wanted to say something else. But I think she switched it to jokester just for the simple fact that she didn't want that conversation to go south.
Mm-hmm. But,
Clint's... like Gina was saying stuff at work, so...
Yeah. Clint's remark was he was really impressed at Gina's business and, you know, her entrepreneurship. He was like, you know, that's like... attractive to me, that spirit, like, but he was like, okay, I see what you're doing and what you're trying to build, and he could appreciate that. And then let's see, I think that's when they do the cards. Yeah. After that, they have the questions that they have to ask from the experts, and so as I was talking about before, the first question was, you know, what brings you joy? And for her, she was like, it's quality time, traveling, decompressing. And he said for me it's 3 F's. It's family, friends, and can you guess the next one? And she was like, and it's food. So family, fun, and food. And family, friends, and food. And they talk about things.
Keep your mind out the gutter with the 3 F's.
Things have you had some things that were difficult in your life and how you overcame them? And for her, she's like, you know, it was just my childhood growing up with a single mother because my mom had to deal with the divorce, and you know, we moved around a lot, and so she had to overcome by shifting her mindset. And for him, that's when he talks about the fact that something a difficulty I had to overcome is, you know, I had gotten a girl pregnant at one time, and we didn't plan it that way, but I had started feeling like, okay, I can do this and get used to that. And then she had a miscarriage, and he was like it really tore him up because he was like all in. He's fully committed, even like, you know, I'm gonna be president, I'm gonna be a dad, and then it just didn't happen like that.
Yeah, I like Clint there because Clint said even if she didn't want to be with him anymore, he was going to be there for the baby financially. He was going to do everything he needed to do. And he liked that aspect about being a grown man. I know from being a father being a man whose wife had miscarriages and you wanted to have the baby, it takes a toll on you. And it also takes a toll on a woman. There's no disrespect there. But I don't think a lot of people, and I said this on Camp a couple seasons ago, a lot of people don't think about the guy, the aspect, especially when you want the baby and you really cherishing and the child, and it doesn't come to fruition, and you feel like, what did I do wrong? What did I do this? So for Clint to say that was one of the biggest things that that he had to overcome, I thought it was great for him. Kudos for him.
Yeah, he said he with the whole pregnancy thing, he had gotten like, he was like really nervous about it. He gotten like full body rash, like he went through it. So he was like, you know, it's hard to get through, but I did. And Gina appreciated his vulnerability, and she was like, you know, that makes me feel closer to him. And
still ain't kissing him.
They had a question, what scares you the most about y'all's physical attraction? So they answered in a different way. It was like, you know, I'm scared that our physical attraction won't grow, that we'll just be in this place where we are. And he was like, yeah, same for him. Then we see later, now that Clint has stepped into Gina's world, Clint says, I'm going to bring her into my world. And so they go on his little sailboat. And I don't mean little, like little. I mean...
They on a sailboat, Dang.
His sailboat.
A sailboat named Dang.
I honestly, I thought it would be bigger. Maybe Dang It is bigger.
Maybe Dang It.
I don't know. So when I say little, I don't mean like hit little. I mean it's smaller.
Right.
I was like, oh, okay. On his boat, Dang, and he was like, I'm going to teach her some things, teach her parts of the boat, and you know, we're going to go out. And they caught a little bit of wind, but then the wind went away, and so they had to use the motor. But she was doing good, steering the boat, and they put the sail up and everything.
I thought she enjoyed it. She said she enjoyed it. She followed directions, and she's willing to do it again. And it was good to see her interacting in Clint's world and really being a part of it. Being really, you can tell she was really involved. It wasn't a fake thing. She had her little gloves on and everything, and she was helping him adjust the sail and the boom and all that other stuff. So it was good for her to experience that, and good for him to see her do that as well. So
yeah, and she said it was relaxing. She could understand why he likes it. You know, it's good to see him in his element or whatever. And then the last thing with them, they're spending time together. Like I said, they're trying to build a connection. And so there's a professional bull riding that was around the corner from them. So they both went to see the professional bull riding, and both of them said they'd never been before.
Yeah, if you ain't never I've been. When I was a kid, my dad took me when we was living out in Texas. You never been one of those shows. It's fun. It is fun. It's very exciting.
So he was like, he's excited to see it, and they look like they had a really good time. And
they VIP seats.
Yeah, because I was like, are they in a little what you call it, a little club, the little club area? They had a table and stuff.
They're a little paid, so maybe the only way they want to experience bull riding is through VIP. You know, you want to say. Plus, you got the common folk with the cameras and stuff.
That's what I was gonna say. You can't really sit in a regular section.
You can't really sit in a regular section. So.
But then they had it was a whole little joke in his vignette. He was like, "Well, I think I could do the bull riding thing," and in her vignette, she was like, "I don't think he could." He said I could do it. I might die. I might die trying, but I'm gonna try it. So that was it with them. That was a little cute thing they went on the bull riding.
Let's go, Airris and Jasmine.
All right, first thing we find out is good old Airris got the COVID.
Got the vid.
He caught COVID, and so he's isolated to his room but Jasmine's being a good wife. She's listen, something's wrong with this man. That lady took care of him, fixed him some soup and everything.
She's supposed to. She's Katina from, like, Katina did that with Elijah.
She's supposed to.
If you were married, you're supposed to take care of your spouse for sickness and health until death do us part.
But she could not take care of him because of the place where they are. So not she should. She should.
No, the only place that they are is they're not physically. He's not physically attracted to her.
Right, but that could make a big difference.
It could, but she's always been nice. Look, this is the same woman who fed the man grapes in the tub.
But that's my point. But I was saying that's my point. You know, she was kind. But I just wanted to fix she don't have to do nothing. Not she should.
He should take care of her. I think when you're married, you should take care of each other.
I feel like he said it. Maybe we just haven't seen it. He has said it like, I'll help you with your mom or whatever, but I just haven't seen that from him.
I think Airris is a genuinely nice person. It's just that he's for the streets. I think he's a genuinely nice guy. That he has a heart. That he can take care of family. He believes that, and he does that type of stuff. It's just that in his relationship is kind of, you know, on the
because they get to that. They get to that. So he gets through COVID. Like I said, he appreciated her taking care of him, and you know, bringing him back to health. They go out and take. So he says, in order to like kind of repay her, they take Duchess to get washed. Yes. And he was like, "Am I doing it right?" He's trying his best, and she was like,
"Fail."
I appreciate. No, she said, "I appreciate the thought, the sentiment," but she was like, "Well, Duchess is going to the groomer soon anyway." But thanks. Right. So they have their questions to answer, and so what will it take to fall in love? And you know, they talk about the fact that she says, you know, I fall in love easily. And he says, oh, so you probably been in love a lot of times. She was like, just because I fall in love easily don't mean I've been in love a lot. So she said maybe like 3 times or so. Because I think he said like 5 or 6.
He said 5.
And he was like, see, I was close. She was like, nah. And he said for him, like, love is kind of scary.
He been hurt. Let finish the man's story. It's scary. He was hurt. And he don't want to commit anyway. So he said, I'll be a hoe. Basically. That's what he said. I'm not going to commit.
He said he almost fell in love before, but, like, she left him. And he was so hurt that he was like, oh, no. And so he said that was, like, when he was, like, 29. So he, like, I spent a decade with my guard up. It won't get me like that no more. That's how he...
And so he started treating women like, you know, blocking and keeping at a distance. And okay, I'll have sex with you.
Well, keep his heart from a distance.
Yeah, keep his heart from a distance. So he started saying, okay, sex this, sex that, love this. But I mean, not love, but sex this, sex that. But I'm not gonna love you.
Yeah. For her. She says with that, you know, love is scary, but you have to be uncomfortable to grow. Like, and basically, what she's saying is, being in love is like giving somebody your heart, knowing that they might break it, but trusting that they won't. Huh? And so that's how you have to treat it. Like, I mean, it's a chance, but you got to put yourself out there. You got to try it. She said she's such a what?
No, she said she's romantic. She had.
I thought you were gonna say something about what I said about trying.
You do got to try it and put your heart out there. I mean, only can give you yes or no. Mm-hmm. But you should know. I just in this situation is different. Because it's only be a few weeks, but if you're regularly dating somebody, you know if you love them or not over a period of time. So,
yeah, she talks about being a hopeless romantic, but she doesn't get stuck there. It's like I can move on. I'm a hopeless romantic, so that don't stop me. And the question, does she want to fall in love and marry? She said yes, but I'm not there yet. And you're like, we need to have some deeper conversations for me to be able to get there, which I don't.
And we need to have some deeper physical touch and not necessarily conversation. I think they have some conversations, not as deep as it should be. But Airris is not trying to love that woman. He likes her, but he ain't trying to love her. That's a difference. He might like I'm not asking him to love her after 2 or 3 weeks.
I just want him to love somebody.
But he's I mean,
you're almost 40 years old, bruh.
Do you not see him working towards that though in this relationship? And you don't think Airris is working in this relationship trying to build it, or you think he's just going through the motion for 8 weeks? Okay. I was just asking.
Because he is still stuck on the fact that I'm not physically or sexually attracted to her. I think that's where he's stuck. Mm-hmm. I think he's like, if you ask me, I think he's like friend zoned her.
Got it.
Because he's stuck on, she don't look like what I'm used to dating. And the other part, when they go play Never Have I Ever, and they get to asking these questions, have you ever kissed somebody of the same sex? She's like, no. Have you ever had sex with somebody who's watching? No. And he was like, well, I kind of like had an orgy or whatever. And she was like, I'm learning stuff about him that I don't know if I want to have. Have you ever had a one night stand? She was like, no, never. Have you ever cheated? She's like, no. He was like, what? You ain't did nothing. You supposed to do all this before you get married. No, I do not have to do none of that before I get married. What?
He's on the premise that you got to sow your wild oats. He's under the premise that I got to do all this stuff. Again, you don't have to do all that stuff. It's stuff that you did and got away with or they get caught up in. It's something that he did. She like you said, she should have asked him, have you kissed somebody of the same sex?
But that's a side note. That always be my thing. Guys, like I don't want to say worldly guys, that sounds so, but like guys that be out there doing their little sexual thing, they be like, oh, that's so hot, you know, two women kiss. I be like, now if I flip the script, then they be like, so explain it to me. I be really trying to understand why some of these men be so into women kissing each other, having two women. But if a woman be like, I want to have me two men, they be like, what?
Yeah.
I don't understand it.
Not my cup of tea. It might be for some people.
But that's what I'm saying. I don't understand. This is such a double standard. But anyway, so when he said that, I really wish she had said, have you?
and if he said yes, I have, what happens then, right?
Then she would really be like, well, all this experience you got, I cannot. But you know, she was like, all this stuff he's talking about, you know, I think it's kind of turning her off, because I mean, she's more reserved and prim and proper about it. And then the other thing is, I ain't even gonna put it on reserve. It's just like some people don't do all that.
But she said on After Party that she doesn't mind. She's open to that, but she's just not gonna do it in public. Like, she wants a husband to have a husband who teaches some things. But I mean, I don't know too many people who are willing to bring somebody else in their bedroom. There might be people out there, but that's just a whole different.
It is definitely people.
Well, it's definitely people out there, but it's a whole, and not on Married at First. I always put Married at First Sight. Let me clarify. On Married at First Sight, I don't think there's gonna be someone on Married at First Sight that says, you know what, let's bring somebody else in. In the first 8 weeks, they haven't found that couple yet, right? Or those people yet, right? But that's one of the. Yeah. I don't think Airris is asking for orgy. Now I think Airris has said, this is my past life. He's opening up to her, and it just, as he opened up to her, he's just showing how
he was trying to turn that poor girl out.
He showed how wild he was.
That's what I'm saying.
How wild and adventurous he is when it comes to sexual life. I think he's one
of them type of people that, like, unless it's all wild and crazy, even in my marriage, like, expecting just.
He's gonna try everything. He's gonna push the limit. If you haven't, Airris is gonna push the limit. Remember, again, go back to him being the only child. He's always pushing
sex. He don't want to make love.
But he's not trying to have sex with her.
But no, you're missing my point. My point is, that's where he's at with it. Because again, he's never been in love, and I feel like he don't know the tender side. Mm-hmm. She wants some tender side.
Yeah.
Tender side of it. But anyway. So that's it with Jasmine and Airris. Last but not least, we got Shaquille and Kirsten.
I'm sorry, we only got 4 couples.
Right. We got Shaquille and Kirsten. And so we see her, the opening thing with her as she's talking to her, video chatting with her friend Elise. And she talks about, you know, Kirsten tells her I had a good time on the honeymoon. I was excited. Moving into the apartment together was even better. Like, I feel happy and blessed. I'm just waiting on his work schedule to normalize. He's really busy with his work. And Elise says, you know, he's going to have to make some time for you. And that's what you mentioned before. Just like Gina needs to find some work balance, it sounds like Shaquille needs to find some work balance, work and life balance as well.
But we'll find out with him later on, because he said something to me that like, huh?
she said said the other night she fell asleep before he even got home because he had some events that he had to take care of. I don't know. That's kind of sticky because I mean you got to do it for your job,
right?
So it's not like I'm just not coming home or not trying to spend time with you, but my job is requiring me to do these.
But you gotta have a balance. I think you gotta have to communicate. And I'm Lord forbid, I'm the last one to talk about a balance. But look, that's a whole different podcast. But you do have to have a balance. You gotta try to create a balance. And I'm getting better because I'm kind of like Shaquille sometimes, in and out, and caught up in a lot of different things. But you have to create a balance, and then you also have to communicate. And then you got to be able to communicate with your spouse throughout the day, giving them, even though it's not the physical quality time that you're looking for, but it's maybe the phone quality time on a break or when you're traveling between classes or whatever he does at the university. Hey, I'm just calling. I'm thinking about you. Hey, how you doing? What's going on? What's your day like? That and other. So you're still investing in that spouse, but you're not there at home. Because the way she sees it, like she's just at home by herself, in an apartment by herself, and he don't even communicate until he leaves. He leaves, say bye, see you later. Nothing throughout the day, and then he just comes home and she sleeps, but she don't even know he's home. That's what it seems like. But you're gonna have to communicate. He's gonna have to communicate throughout the day in order to build some of that security for her.
Yeah, she said that he's asked her for some grace, and she keeps giving it to him, but she knows that building that emotional bond is crucial. Especially for her to say yes at the end. They get their questions, and questions is, have you ever been in love before? And he says yes. And she says, how did you know you weren't in love? And he says, because it was somebody that took time with me. I was feeling loved. And that's how he knew that he was in love. And for her, she said yes, she was in love, and her last relationship was, she was in 4 years ago, but it didn't work out, and so because of that, she put her guard up.
Nah, that dude hurt her, because the way she is right now, the last relationship she was in, and she didn't say it, that hurt her. Because like you mentioned, her wall is up. She's not letting that wall down from anybody, and she don't want to be vulnerable. She don't want to show that she's not perfect. She don't want to show that she makes mistakes. She wants to create a perfect type life, which explains her apartment. I don't put nothing on the walls and all that. I just want to be blue.
In her vignette, she was like, I know I need to open up some more. I'm trying, I hope to get there.
I don't like that statement. If you know you need to do something.
It's hard, though.
The dude is open and he's asking you. Even when it was blindfolded, we skip ahead. He's like, nobody's watching you. It's like, tell me some shit. Like, I know there's tons of things. Tell me one. If it's tons, open your mouth. That's my pet peeve. Sorry. If you talk to me and you say something, and then I say, okay, what do you say? Or asking you, and you just stand there and like you got your lips just get locked. That's an issue. Communicate. Go write it down. If you can't speak it.
Well, see, I didn't.
Go write it down.
That may have been what it was. I told you what I took from it was I was like, what if it's not really nothing to her and she really don't have nothing? Like she said it like, oh, there's tons about me. And then when she really thought about it, she was like,
no,
I mean,
trust me.
Then again, it's not.
Trust me, it's something. It's a lot. Either she was hurt. I don't want to say she was abused. Somebody did something to her, or she has a life where isn't she the preacher kid? That's Jasmine.
Mm-hmm.
I already say because sometimes preacher kids they have to meet an expectation and have a lifestyle, and they don't want to be able. And I can say that because I am a preacher's kid. So that you have an expectation and you have a lifestyle that you got to meet. What? Right. That you got to meet, and then you can't meet that, so you living up to that. So I thought she was.
Side note: we're both preachers' kids.
Yeah, we both preachers' kids. So.
And so are our kids.
Yeah. So.
Leave that alone.
Yeah, leave that alone. Because some things I'll be doing on this channel. But anyway, that's where she's at, though. I mean, I think she doesn't want people to see her imperfections, and across in America, across the world. What, her imperfections? Oh, so her imperfections. She wants people to see her imperfections, and so she's scared. And that's even your husband. Like, open up.
What will it take for you to fall in love was the next question. And she was like, quality time and like time together. And he was like, yeah, I agree, time. And she was like, like, I won't always be this needy, but right now I want to always be around you because, I'm just getting to know you, and, I want your attention. And in his vignette, he was like, it's hard for me to give her my undivided attention because I have to do what makes me happy. And, that's like spending time at the gym and with my family, my friends. And Shaquille, understand that. But you got married at first sight, you're married, and so you're going to have to give some time to your spouse.
Yeah, give some time to your spouse. I thought that statement he made was selfish. And I understand you have gym time, you have all this stuff, but as sometimes as a man, you have to meet the need of your spouse. You should meet the need of your spouse, and they have to create a balance. You may have to change your gym time, change some of your meetings, in order for you to get that close. It's not like you've been married many years. You're newlyweds, right? Mm-hmm. You're newlyweds. You're supposed to spend like every waking minute, time, second, hour with each other, so y'all get to know each other. So that's what he's missing out at. Mm-hmm. With her, he has to really connect with her on that level. I mean, even when he brought his mentees over, it's like he didn't communicate with her about the job situation. By the way, she didn't cook no food.
Oh, which she made some cookies and they ordered some pizza. And so she was just trying to get from them,
cook some dinner.
A little bit more about Shaq. And they talked about, at first I thought he was corny, but then I really realized he was cool, and he could just relate to us, and he's relatable. And for them, their concern with him getting married was, one mentee was like, I was just like, I hope she ain't ugly.
Yeah.
And he was like, so this is a good thing. You weren't.
Yeah, you weren't.
His mentees asked, like, what's the sacrifice that you're making? He was like, I'm adjusting, making changes daily. And that's when he said, I got offered this big job. It would be good for my career. But he didn't discuss it with her, but he said no, because he knew that saying yes to it, but he would have to move. I think that's what he said. He would have to move. And so he had to take in consideration her because they're married.
But I said that before, though. I mean, he moved around a lot. You look at the Matchmaker special, even the first couple episodes, he talked about him moving a lot, and I thought that would be an issue. But I think even in my marriage, if we want to go closer, he should have mentioned it to her, at least, because he never knows. She may want to be able to move. I mean, I know they can't move in these 8 weeks, but she might have been like, you know what? Yeah, after these 8 weeks, we rolling.
Nah, she's not trying to leave.
I'm not saying that, but at least you give her the option, like she's part of this marriage.
I know, but I feel like it's a little early in there.
Early or not, you're married. Early or not, it affects her.
Okay, but I would say it like this. I would mention it to her, but she don't have no say so. See what I'm saying?
Ooh, I don't even say that though.
I think it's too early to give her that much. I don't want to say.
Something to
I'm
think
gonna say decision making ability in things that affect my life.
You might want to hear her opinion though, because again, it may be something that y'all together and y'all stay after the 8 weeks, and then you can tell the job because this is me. I would have told the job I'm in a process. I'm on a TV show. Blah blah. I would have just been honest with them. I'm on this TV show. It's an 8 week process. Can I give you an answer in about 9 weeks, or whatever the case may be? This is a process I'm in. Right now I have a wife. I'm not sure if I'm able to contractually. I'm not thinking I have to be in Tennessee. When can I give you? He could at least give her the option to say, you know what, honey, I'm good. Think about it, or move. Yeah, I'd love to go with you, or nah, you know what, don't do it. Give her the option. I don't.
I'm on the other side of that. I feel like. I feel like normally in a normal relationship, marriage, that is what would happen. But like, same time, man, I don't know you.
It was somebody else. What other season that something like that happened in? Or when Mark quit his job, Mark the Shark, or what? We had the kind of same discussion. Should you ask your spouse, or something you should come up with your spouse? You should have that conversation with your spouse, whether it's about moving, taking another job, quitting a job. Whatever the case may be. I think because you're married, you're putting your money together, you're doing all the stuff, you try to be together, I think you should at least give them, be able to have their opinion.
But that's what I'm saying. When you talk about putting money together, like, again, they're still fresh in this. Even that's stuff that you wouldn't decide till later on, till you get deeper into it. So, I mean,
But some people
we have different opinions when it comes to that.
Some people seem,
especially for the married at first sight process.
Right.
I just feel like normally I would, but not for this.
Yeah, we've seen some people jump 10 toes in. 10 toes down from the beginning.
Yeah. So. Changing last names and stuff in there, they had to change it back. Putting people on life insurance, on health insurance policies, had to take it back.
Take it back, but you again, I think, but we'll talk about that on our Sunday panel.
But she says, she appreciated him turning the job down, but she also doesn't want him to hold back in his career because of her. So that'll be something they'll have to deal with later. They go plant shopping. That's something he's into. He's really into plants. And he was like, I feel like I can fall in love with her before decision day. But I know that we need quality time to spend with each other. And he talked about the plant being a symbolic of their life together, with growing and nurturing the plant or whatever. And she was just, them going to plant, she was like, no, I don't like this one because Dad, I don't like the color. This got bigger leaves. Da, 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 da. I thought that was funny. I was like, just
pick a plant.
Last thing is she sets up a little spa day for him. She's the little foot spa.
And another sponsor for Married at First Sight.
A foot spa. And that's when they had a conversation about, tell me something about you that I don't know. And he was like, I have insecurity issues, the way I was raised and the fact that I had gone bald and the scar on my head from the accident. And she was like, no, I think you're amazing and you're handsome. And I see you striving for excellence. I think you've done good with yourself. And so he says, what about you? And she says, well, there's tons you don't know about me. And he was like, you know what? Like, what can you tell me? And then she's like, well, maybe not. Maybe there's not too much more. And he's like, but you just said it was. So now it's not. Which one is it?
Yeah, which one is it?
I tend to think it's not.
I think it is. She has a lot. She has baggage. But she ain't
getting ready to say that right there.
But she should have. At least she could have said, I've been hurt in relationships. That's why my wall is up. Bingo. That's one of the things I'm dealing with. Right? She didn't have to go into she didn't have to go into detail. She didn't have to say about who. She didn't have to say nothing. I'm sorry I'm treating like this, but there's some baggage in my past relationships that's allowing me not to verbalize
be vulnerable.
Be vulnerable and verbalize what I'm going through. Done deal.
He was like, you got a real tall wall up, and I can't see no way to get over it. You're going to have to bring it down.
And if she don't bring it down, it's going to be the downfall of the relationship. I think I said this to you last night. I said this when we watched the show. She actually likes him. Mm-hmm. She's just awkward in relationships. And so I think she's gonna be liking him a lot, but he can't deal with the fact that she can't communicate. Mm-hmm. And that's what's gonna break them up, because she cannot like cat got a tongue. Mm-hmm. And she just can't verbalize. This is where the experts need to come in, and they need to be some kind of assignment, some kind of relationship, something to help her communicate effectively. Give her some ideas, write it down, do a video, post it, I don't know, put it on a post-it note. Do something to give your husband the fact that you can see that your walls are come tumbling down a little bit, that the walls are dropping. Mm-hmm. That's some of the things that she needs to do in order for them to build a relationship. If not, Shaq and Kirsten, and I know some of you already think they've done anyway, so. And
I feel like there's still hope for them.
It's on her, though. I think everything's on her. All the balls in her court. She needs to become more vulnerable. She needs to open up. She needs to communicate with him instead of saying, you're everything I want. Okay, why am I everything you want? What happened to you? How come you can't let your walls down? Mm-hmm. And I hope they give them exercises to do so.
So that's it.
Yeah, let us know what you thought in the comment section below, man. Leave a comment. Yeah, you could have just said. I agree with you.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Man, why discuss with her when she said we don't?
I feel like they're just not there yet.
And we'll not kiss them.
They're not there yet.
But she's rubbing on him. She's all close to him. She's doing that. It doesn't take a lot to kiss somebody. It doesn't.
Somebody must have really ripped her kiss into shreds. Again, it don't take no whole. You don't gotta be no good kisser, give no peck.
She has missed perfection. She don't want him to say it's bad. Somebody told her
he's not gonna say it.
Somebody told her she was a bad kisser, and so she's now like, you know what? I don't want to mess up again. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to try because I don't want to mess up again. If I met, you haven't really seen her do anything to mess up. She did what she's comfortable doing. That goes back to her house. I think she don't decorate the house because she don't want anybody to come and say it don't look good.
I don't know, but
She a real estate agent. But I mean, you should have had somebody come in and stage your home. Well, some of y'all said it was staged anyway. So, but again, I just think that the perfection aspect of her. We talked about Iris, but we'll see where's that. But thank y'all for joining us. Appreciate you guys. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit that bell notification, and make sure you don't miss any of our reviews that we may have or videos that we put out. And make sure you share this with somebody else. Until we see you guys again, have a great day. And make sure you leave a comment in the comment section below.
bye.
Bye.